Bell Cranel wasn't your typical adventurer. Sure, he was brave, he had a good heart, and he was quick with a sword, but Bell was known for something else, his incredible luck. He got his nickname the Rabbit because of his white hair and his tendency to find trouble. Or maybe it was because trouble found him. Either way, Bell always landed on his feet like a rabbit hopping away from danger. Bell lived in Labyrinth City, Orario, a bustling city full of adventurers and mythical creatures. The city was built around a massive dungeon, a labyrinth filled with monsters and treasure. Adventurers came from all over to test their skills and seek their fortunes. Bell was one of them. He was on a mission to become a hero, just like the ones in the stories. Little did he know his greatest adventure was about to begin, and it wouldn't be anything like the stories. One day, Bell was exploring the dungeon with his friends. They were in a deep, dark chamber, the air thick with the smell of moss and magic. They had just defeated a group of goblins when it happened. A ripple of energy pulsed through the chamber. It shimmered, purple and menacing. The ground shook, the walls groaned. Bell's rabbit ears twitched. Something wasn't right. Before anyone could react, a swirling vortex opened up in the center of the room. The air crackled with energy. The vortex pulsed, pulling everything towards its center like a giant, hungry mouth. Bell tried to run, but it was too late. The vortex sucked him in, along with his friends. Then everything went dark. When Bell woke up, he was lying on soft grass. Birds sang in the trees. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves. It was peaceful, too peaceful. He sat up and looked around. Everything was different. The trees were taller, the grass greener, the sky a brighter shade of blue. This wasn't the dungeon. This wasn't Orario. Where was he? He soon found out. As he stood up, he saw a sign carved into a nearby tree. It read, "Welcome to the Land of Dawn, the Land of Dawn." Bell had never heard of it, but he could tell one thing: it was nothing like home. Section 4, Trials of the Rabbit. At first, Bell was excited. New land, new adventures, but his excitement was short-lived. The Land of Dawn was full of dangers he couldn't have imagined. He encountered strange creatures unlike anything he'd seen in Orario. He faced treacherous landscapes that seemed to shift and change around him. And he learned the hard way that the laws of magic worked differently in this land. But Bell was a survivor. He used his wits, his skills, and his trusty sword to overcome every obstacle. He even made a few friends along the way. A grumpy dwarf with a heart of gold, a mischievous sprite who loved playing tricks, and a wise old tree spirit who spoke in riddles. Through it all, Bell never gave up hope of finding his way back home. He knew his friends would be worried sick, but he also knew that he couldn't let fear control him. He had to be brave, resourceful, and maybe a little bit lucky. After all, he was the Rabbit of Orario. Section 5, Echoes of Home. As Bell journeyed through the Land of Dawn, he started to notice something strange. There were echoes of Orario everywhere. He found ruins that reminded him of the dungeon, ancient temples that whispered of forgotten gods. And even a few people who had heard tales of a city that sounded a lot like his home. Could it be that Orario and the Land of Dawn were connected somehow? Was the space-time distortion more than just a random event? Bell didn't have all the answers, but he was determined to find them. He knew that his journey was far from over. Section 6, ready for anything. After what felt like an eternity, Bell finally found a way to open a portal back to Orario. It wasn't easy. It involved a dangerous ritual, a talking sword, and a very grumpy dragon. But Bell did it. He stepped through the portal and found himself back in the familiar, comforting darkness of the dungeon. He was home, but something was different. He was different. His journey through the Land of Dawn had changed him. He was stronger, wiser, and more confident. He had faced his fears and come out the other side. He knew that there would be more challenges ahead, more adventures to be had. But he was ready. He was Bell Cranel, the Rabbit of Orario, and he was ready for anything.